Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Chakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and wherever you may be, and wherever you may be, to you I say Shalom, Yasharala Shalom. All right, this is going to be another quick hit, another helpful hints and info. All right, as I come across these different sites that you can look into, I like to share them with others. Maybe you get use out of it. I know the one I use the most is probably that GDAX, because it shows all kinds of earthquakes, droughts, and just all kinds of things, floods and everything that are going on within the earth, and they're usually up to date and accurate. So we found another little site like that as I was looking around, and I wanted to share it. But first, I'm gonna read these scriptures here because this particular site is tied around which a lot of talk is around Gary, Indiana. All right, but there's other places, in the United States that actually been affected by power outages that come from, storms and other different things. Okay, a lot of different counties and places are being affected. And then you have this recent talk about possible, grid going down, for 18 months. So I thought when I came across that site, I thought it'd be nice to share that. So we're going to read 1st and 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. Now, we know Esdras was way, way down the line with Persian Empire, because I think he said he was in Babylon, meaning not in the actual Babylonian Empire, but in the land of Babylonia. Basically, what would it be? Iraq, modern day Iraq. If I'm correct, Esdras said that he was in Babylon. All right, so that would be modern day Iraq. So in the ancient time, whatever, around that area would have been, particular names or whatever the Persians owned, and they governed that land at the time. So this ain't talking about ancient Egypt, which we served captivity under. All right, this is talking about a future Egypt, which is not the actual land of Egypt back east, but a spiritual Egypt, which is America, Babylon the Great, as you read in Revelation chapter 11. All right, spiritual Sodom in Egypt, where our Lord was crucified. Okay, same thing when, like you read in Isaiah 19. All right, the Egyptians against the Egyptians. What is it talking about? It's talking about ancient Egypt? No. Is it talking about modern day back east Egypt? No. It's talking about spiritual Egypt, America, Babylon the Great, the West. All right, so that's the land of Egypt here. And this is a prophecy. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and he's going to use Yahweh to deliver the elect, and smite Egypt, America, Babylon the Great, the West. All right, the spiritual Egypt, right, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Because ultimately, the Lord is going to send nuclear missiles on this place to destroy it off the map. But one of those plagues, all right, was what? Darkness. All right, and so there's talk about darkness as of late. Okay, actual power outages happening, but then a whole entire grid shut down for a year and was it? Yeah, 18 months. So yeah, yep. So I don't think we need the next verse. Yep, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High, all right, shall bring upon it. You see, that God the highest shall bring upon it, as in a form of what? Judgment. Okay, and when you go to Exodus, to tie these things in that we're reading, all right, Exodus chapter 10, darkness over the land. Exodus 10 and 21. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. That's how dark it was. All right, and the Apocrypha actually expounds on this darkness. And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. Okay, you've been going for almost 2 weeks now. Okay, and but the big one is talking about 18 months though. Should that happen? Okay, if that's what the Lord wants to happen, then that's what's going to happen. All right. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. That's what people are crying about in the news. All right. Obviously, daylight, sun. All right. When the sun starts to set, okay, and it starts to get dark, it's going to get completely dark because they don't have any power. All right. People robbing each other for generators and things of that nature. And why do you think they're doing that? because they have food that doesn't want to go spoiled. They probably got children in the household. All right. And so, it'll probably be someone that never bothered before. Could be an old man and an old lady. They never ever, was ever disrespectful before, bothered before. Not saying that they were a good person, might be a straight hoodlum. But now that the power's out, guess what? Esau has eyes in the sky everywhere. But if the power's out, the cameras are out. If the cameras are out and it's dark, you can get away with it. They don't even have to wear a mask. But wearing a mask just fully completes them getting away with whatever task they go out there to do. All right? Because they're going into what? Survival mode. See? So they're going to do what they got to do to survive. And this is just probably, more than likely, it's probably going to be temporary. Okay? Unless the Lord wants to prolong it. Because eventually I'm pretty sure the power will get back on. But who knows? But anyways, they saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. All right. And yeah, when you read on, because it's short, the chapter's longer than that, but we just read the part about the darkness. But then it goes on talking about Pharaoh hardening his heart and so on and so forth. And that's what Esau is doing today. Instead of him humbling down because he can't do it, all right, confessing that we are the people because he can't do it, all right, and just giving up, okay, and letting us go free, he can't do it. Why? Because that's not how the Lord wrote the story. For this purpose, like it says in Romans 9, have I raised thee up. Okay. And it mentioned what? Pharaoh. Okay. And liken it to Esau today. All right. So the Lord is raising Esau up to have a hardened heart. So when Yahweh Shai is sent back, okay, he gets that justice. All right. That is coming to him swiftly. All right. So that's what's happening right now. And then look, and what the brother prophet is doing, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. All right, we're prophesying this man and his kingdom down, and he's saying what? All right, I don't want to see your face no more. Okay, no, I'm not saying Esau's really saying that, but he's looking at disgust. All right, when he sees the men of the Lord on the streets, on the internet. All right, like these niggas. Okay, I got something for y'all, because in his mind he really thinks that he's going to go and rule forever. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna have to drop this like this. Yep. So I want to go ahead and get to this. It's supposed to be quick. These open internet info is supposed to be quick. So this is called poweroutage.com. All right. Now you can get where is it down here? Here it is. Get free outage alerts. You can get free outage alerts. I did it. I put my email in, then it went extra, so I backed out of it. I was like, I'm not doing all that. But yeah, so I mean, I guess you can set it though to where you can actually get alerts from when power outages happen. Now, here's the neat thing about this. You see this button here, clicking back and forth. Give you a minute to zone in on it. All right. So it says customers out. All right. You see this marker. All right. It's color coded, up to 25,000 plus people. So if you could really look at the map and see it, you'll see the color. I'll show you again. So you see the blocks there and they're changing. So if you look at the blocks and look at the key, you will see the range of this particular area. And then the outage percentage is the second one there. All right. So this is live U.S. power outages. All right. Now, total customers out. It has all this, you listed by state or listed by the utility company. And we have what? Tennessee, which is actually more people out than which is also on this list. But it's, ironic that it is the biggest talk, but Gary, Indiana. But yeah, so you have Tennessee, right, with 31,000, almost 32,000 people. You got Nevada, all right, they're facing things. Texas, California, of course, Indiana, Hawaii, yeah, because I believe, what was it, Lala? I don't know, can't remember if it was a tropical storm or a hurricane or whatever. But Lala just passed, past Hawaii. So, of course, they're on the list. Okay, Oklahoma as well as Florida. And this is Hawaii. So you see right there, customers out, and it show you that. And then it'll show you this. Okay. And supposedly this is accurate. It says updated 4 minutes ago. So customers out 7,000 plus. All right. It shows you the counties: Hawaii County, Honolulu County, Maui County, Kauai, I don't know, K County. Yeah, I don't know, Mississippi maybe. See the same thing. Oh yeah, I clicked this up here. I'll give you a second to see what that is at the top right. So the weather, it was initially like this, and I didn't know what it was. And when I realized, I slid this over, and it actually shows you the weather. So that's the extra thing on this. Yeah, same thing here. It shows you the number of customers out, customers tracked. All right, you can even do it by utilities company. Okay, it shows you all the counties: Rankin, Jackson, Hines, Claiborne, so on and so forth. Okay, the one that everybody's been talking about, Indiana. All right, Lake, Porter, Marion County, Delaware County, Wayne County, so on and so forth. All right, and it's interesting. Oh, there it is. I was about to say, I don't see NIPSCO. There it is. Northern India Public Service Company. I think that's probably NIPS, because CO is usually short for company, and then NIPS, so that makes sense. NIPSCO. But look at the 7,000 people, and then look at all the other places. Numbers super, super low. All right, Duke Energy. Okay, so yeah, but it was interesting. And when I saw this book, Tennessee, okay, actually went to YouTube to look for it, and then it says 6 months ago, but I kept digging, and then I saw a recent news clip. I think I might add it. Need to or not. Yeah, so there you go. Tennessee having some trouble too. 33,000 customers out. All right. Oh, let's click on Shelby County, because I think we can go further. Yep, Shelby County. So there you go. And then, when you do the pinch thing, you can actually zoom in. It'll tell you about it. All right. Calls unavailable. Random dot, calls unavailable. Random dot, that call is unavailable. So I saw somewhere where it says a tree. I think I was going back to one of those other, counties in one of those other places. But yeah, if there has a cause, they'll list the cause. But I know I saw a tree somewhere was the cause, because it probably fell on a power line, disrupted one of the transformers, power went out, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, so it gives you extra, some extra info there on these counties when you zoom in there. Memphis Light, Gas, and Water Division. All right, so actually I clicked on that, so you can go even further. Okay, so I'm learning new stuff now, because I just saw this not too long ago, updated 10 minutes ago. So yeah, so supposedly these are fresh. And there you see the area right there at the bottom left that was affected, which is what we just had on the map in Memphis, Tennessee. So hey, just another quick one. Once again, this is from poweroutage.com. So if you like to look into it, you can make use of it. I have no idea what all of these things do. I haven't looked into it yet. I've been less than 30 minutes since I came across this. So I decided to, maybe less than an hour, I guess, 30 minutes to an hour. So, but I decided to jump in here and get another quick hit, another helpful hints and info. So, Lord willing, this was helpful. All right. And this was edifying, but I'm going to leave it at that. If you like to use it, you could use it. So I'm going to say shalom.